Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 do. Subscribe if you're interested. No pressure though. Hey, so uh, season 5 of The Crown has dropped on Netflix. That's probably my favorite ongoing show. Ongoing, that's not the right word. Show that is still ongoing, I guess. Maybe that was the right word. That's on. Like, it's the one I'm most excited about. Always excited to watch when a new season comes on. And we have a whole new cast. Imelda Staunton right now is playing the Queen. And I feel like when I'm looking at the whole cast, I think everybody's pretty good. I was a little worried with Prince Charles, the actor playing him. His name escapes me right now. But I was just like, he doesn't look like him. Like, they got the hair right, I feel like. The texture of the hair and some of the shape of the hair. But the look just for me wasn't there. But as soon as he started acting, as soon as I saw him on screen, it was all good. And then maybe Prince Philip. I'm not sure. That actor, you know, he's in like Pirates of the Caribbean and like the Two Popes and stuff like that. You know, I not sure how I feel about him. Playing this part. I think he's okay, I guess. You know, I wasn't too sure about Matt Smith either at the beginning, and then it ended up working out when he was playing that character. So I guess right now the only one I'm worried about who's had very minimal screen time. Actually, Princess Margaret also just doesn't quite fit well for me yet. Helena Bonham Carter did such a great job with the previous cast that's kind of like my where my mind is at like perfecting it. I mean, even who played her in the first group of cast members was pretty good also. Really good. So I guess I'm a little on the fence there. I'm sure I'll jump on board. That's always what happens. But you know, it's like, okay, I gotta get used to all these people. And also felt that way with the Queen Mom. Queen Mom? I think maybe I'm used to hearing like Queen Mum. The Queen Mother, that's the word. The Queen Mother, isn't it right? What is she called? The Queen's Mom. Anyway, I just feel like that casting is a little off too. I don't know that actress, but I feel like she's not carrying herself quite correctly the same way the Queen's Mom did, and how the other actresses portrayed her seemed a little bit more accurate to me. From what I remember from, you know, the 90s and 2000s, 90s. But, you know, Diana's great. Excuse me, Diana's great. A lot of the facial expressions are like spot on, to where it's just like I've seen Diana make that face. I've seen Diana make that face. Oh my goodness, that is that is impressive. So yeah, that's great. The William and Charles, you know, they don't have much of a part so far, but they're good. And the Queen is good. Did I say that about Staunton? She's doing great so far. So, you know, she's Umbridge from the Harry Potter films. I think she's got this down. And this first episode is called the Queen. No, it's called Queen Victoria Syndrome. Basically, it's you've been monarch for so long, you have someone in waiting, you are old, you are into archaic old traditions, we need somebody new, but you aren't letting it happen. You need to abdicate to let your son, you know, take over because he's youthful and modern and all of that. And I guess like Victoria's sort of had like the same thing happen with her son. You know, he was just in waiting forever, and she didn't really believe in him. Excuse me. Sorry. But when he took over as king, I guess he did well, right? So that's kind of what this is about. The public is kind of like, you know what? If she abdicated, I'd be cool with Charles, right? Charles is young, Charles is hip, all that sort of stuff, right? He's got Diana as his wife, and they're just like a power couple. It's amazing. But little does the public know, or maybe they did know, but at least in this episode, behind the scenes, they weren't having a good time, right? And that's been evident ever since, you know, the show introduced Diana. So yeah, we're kind of seeing that, and she's trying, at least in the show, she's trying, she's wanting to make this work, like, hey, I want to be on this holiday with you. We're on this yacht. Let's have a good time. And he's trying to get out of there. And yeah, she's trying, and it's not happening. He's not into it. So yeah, it's also it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of bouncing back. The media, the news outlets, are printing information on the Queen. They're printing the whole thing about, the public, half of the public, 50% of the public would be totally cool if she abdicated and handed it over to her son. They tried to, like, the firm, I think is what it's called, right, or the institution or whatever. They were trying to keep that paper away from her, and it's kind of interesting because she's the Queen, and, like, I think technically is the most powerful person on the planet. I mean, I guess you could say the U.S. president is, but, like, I don't know. I watched this video on YouTube that sort of broke down everything that she could do if she wanted to. She could do. Like, it probably couldn't happen, but within her power makes her the most powerful person on the planet. But what makes her even more powerful is her restraint to not use that power, right? I forgot where I was going with all of this. But what was I doing? Most powerful woman, most powerful person on the planet. Oh yeah, so she's the most powerful person on the planet. But the firm, the institution, whoever runs the monarchy, which you would think would be her, actually isn't. It's this organization or whatever, this institution, the firm. They're trying to keep this paper with this information, this poll, away from her, and they're trying to hide it. And I just always think that's interesting because our mind, at least what movies tell us, what Americans think when we're growing up, is that a monarch is number one, all-powerful, even more so than those around them. And I think probably on an individual level, yes, but when you're talking about the firm, like as a whole, like the sort of power they have, I guess, in scheduling her life, telling her what she needs to do. You need to go to this event, this event, this event. Where's the power actually at? Is it within the Queen or is it within the firm? Right now, currently, not in the show. Is it with King Charles or is it with the firm around him that tells him what he needs to do and where he needs to go and all of that? Like, where's the power really? Who's in charge of all of this? Because it doesn't feel like what my idea of what the monarchy was, where it was the head of the monarchy, right? Because, I mean, I guess they're entrusting the firm to do what's right, but I don't know, it's interesting. I was just like, how can they hide a paper from her? How can they do that? I mean, maybe they can't. This is, a show, but it's fiction, but I don't know. That's kind of where my mind goes. Anyway, I thought it was really good. I just, have to settle in to some of these new actors. That's how it always is. It's going to go so fast. I know seasons 3 and 4 did. Like, I can't believe how fast those went. I mean, the whole season, I believe, is out. And then, I'm going to power through that. I only got through one episode today. But went through that. And then I know the next season's going to just come around. And then, we're going to be on to our next actors. It's wild how quickly it goes. I feel like the first 2 seasons didn't go as fast. But anyway, right now, oh, here's another thing I wanted to point out. It looks like it's being filmed with different equipment. Everything is much clearer. Is this just like in 4K or something? Everything appears extra crisp, extra clear. It doesn't have like a texture to it that the previous seasons had. What is that? Is that my TV? Is that Netflix? Is it the camera equipment? Is there a purpose? Did they just change production crew? What's going on there? Did anybody else notice that? It doesn't look like the previous seasons, where those feel lived in and cozily textured. This feels crisp and 4K-ish and I don't know, like green screenish, I guess. I don't know. It was a little different, or maybe high frame rate. I don't know. Anybody else notice that? Anyway, again, I know I've about ended this 5 times, but I think I'm actually going to this time. So what did you think of this first episode? Maybe some of you are already done with the show, but this first episode is all I've seen so far. What did you think of the first episode of Season 5 of The Crown? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.